Hey there. Hello, how do you do? My name is Harry Wetzel. Thanks for coming. It's the 80s, darling. It's the 4th Thursday in November in the year 1982. Thanksgiving Day. I've been in New York for about 2 weeks now. Not quite 2 weeks, as a matter of fact, or just 2 weeks, anyhow. And I wake up on Thanksgiving Day, and I remember that, well, most of us will remember that, many of us will, growing up on Thanksgiving and watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I'm like, I am a 75-cent subway token ride away from going to see that live. Are you kidding? You know I'm going. The balloons, right? They were always our favorite. They're the real stars of that parade. Oh yeah, sure, it's a parade. There's people in cars, there's celebrities, people will stop and sing a song, there's bands, marching bands and playing bands. Who cares? Bring on the balloons. I wanted to see those balloons in person. Right. So, I left bright and early, 9:15 or so, got to Manhattan around 10 o'clock, got out at Times Square. And it's very, 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 very crowded. It's New York City, one of the crowdedest cities, and it's one of the crowdedest times. Yes! So you just amble around, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people. You can move your way through the crowd, past the crowd, beyond the crowd, behind the crowd as the parade goes. Parade starts at 10, but there's lots and lots of people and a party atmosphere the entire time. So I roam up to the Columbus Circle. I went all the way up Broadway, and Columbus Circle's at 59th Street. So I went from 42nd to 59. And I was looking for a nice vantage point. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted was to find a nice place so I could stand and get a good look. And there was a moving van. There was a moving van parked on Columbus Circle. It's a big area, big circle. And there's a moving van just parked there. And there was a couple of people up on top of the moving van. And I'm like, whoa. And I come up there, and they seem to be friendly, around my age, happy and healthy and delicious, and they're all jumping around and in a good mood. And I'm like, hey. And they're like, hey. And I'm like, can I come up? And they're like, sure, come on up. And I'm like, yes, because there was a ladder right on the back of the van. No problem. 1, 2, 3, and you're up. All right. It was a cold day. When I got out of that subway and started walking Broadway, you say, uh-oh. It's very windy. It's 22 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny day. It is. It's crisp and clear and windy. And the wind is wreaking havoc with those balloons. The balloon handlers, the balloon wranglers, oh, the real stars of the parade every year. The unsung heroes are the balloon handlers, and especially on a day like this. Those are great big balloons, 65 feet long, some of them. 100 feet long, one of them. 106 feet long, one of them, yeah. And there's dozens of people dragging these or pulling these on their ropes. And when the wind picks up, everybody goes over to the side of the road. Oh, dear, it was a mess. The wind was wreaking havoc with those poor balloons, the stars of the show. Uh-oh. Well, we're up there on the top of that moving van. And if you thought it was cold down on the ground, wait till you get up where there's nothing to stop the wind. Right, because down there, there's people. And they act as sort of a barrier if you're in a crowd. It's true. But when you're up there, there is a bracing, bracing wind. It's like a morning shower in freezing water, only you're standing there fully clothed and just as cold. Yikes. But all the stars were there. There was Underdog, the balloon Underdog, and they're coming down Central Park West. And they're being blown over into the, sort of almost into the trees, and the handlers got to wrangle that. Woody Woodpecker came down Central Park West. Columbus Circle is where the turn, sort of a turn. Broadway comes up and 8th Avenue comes up all together down at the bottom corner of Central Park there. And Columbus Circle is where the parade changes route from Central Park West and then comes around Columbus Circle and then goes down Broadway. Right. So that's where we are. So we get a great close-up view. We're up there on top of this van, and the balloons go right by us. It was really amazing. It was phenomenal. These are giant things you've been seeing much of your life. Woody Woodpecker comes by. Oh, poor Woody. His left hand was deflated and hung there like an empty latex glove. I know. Poor fellow. And Kermit the Frog is up there, and they're dragging him along, and he's going over to the side. Olive Oil. Yes. It was very exciting. So we're watching all this, and we're so cold up there. Somebody pulls out a pack of cigarettes, and I thought, that sounds like a good idea. I didn't have any smokes on me. I said, could I bum a cigarette? And they're like, sure. I figure, they said, I'm lighting a cigarette because it's at least a little heat. And we're like, oh yeah, very clever. So we're all like Bob Cratchit hovering over the hot of the cigarette as we're up there in the 22 degrees, high winds. Ay, 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 ay. Anyhow, we're up there smoking our cigarettes, and who should come around the corner but my favorite balloon, Bullwinkle J. Moose. Yes, he's 65 feet tall and 33 feet wide. Yes, and the wind is really picking up. It's always picking up. It's never slowing down, and it got worse and worse as the parade went by. And Bullwinkle J. Moose, the biggest moose in the world, at 65 feet tall, and his antlers are 35 feet wide. That's a big moose. in his 1910 swimsuit he was wearing, remember? Yes. Hey, if you remember Bullwinkle J. Moose in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, comment and like and share. Yes, if you remember that, share it with somebody who might remember seeing that on the TV every morning, and some people who saw it in person. Anyhow, share it out, like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank you. So Bullwinkle J. Moose comes around the corner of Central Park and turns onto Columbus Circle, and the wind picks up, and as he got over by our van, and they're at eye level. The balloons were we're right eye to eye with Woody and Olive and Kermit, and now with Bullwinkle. But the wind picks up, and he blows over, and he comes over to the van, and we're and he starts to push us. We're on top of the van, and Bullwinkle J. Moose, the balloon, is pushing us. It was got to be terrifying, and so we had to like push and lean into Bullwinkle Moose to get him off of us and to help him get back on track. There were like 5 of us on top of the van there, and we pushed with all our might. That's a great big thing, and the wind is coming this way, and you're pushing that way. They got Bullwinkle back on track. And there he is. There's his eye. It's as big as I am. And I'm eye to eye with his giant eye. And we push him, And he gets back on track. And I'm like, wow, I've never had that intimate an encounter with a celebrity where I had to, you know, push them off of me. I've never been winded by a giant balloon like that before. It was not there's nothing quite like it. It was the biggest celebrity that I've ever encountered, and the most intimate encounter I've ever had with a celebrity. Literally, the biggest celebrity, one of the biggest celebrities in the world. We're all looking at each other, congratulating each other for saving Bullwinkle from, or saving our own lives, but saving Bullwinkle from a fate worse than being popped, right? And there went Bullwinkle, and we're like, well, we're not going to top that. It's freezing up here. I'm good. I climbed down. We all bid each other adieu. We said it was great spending time with you. We didn't even bother to introduce each other. We were just friends. It was nice, you know. We were friends for 45 minutes in the freezing cold and in the wind, and we helped save Bullwinkle. Yeah, well, I'll never forget that. But what is fame? Fame, thou glittering bauble. Yes. Curious thing about celebrity is that we worship it. We sort of worship it. We worship them, the celebrities. We follow them around. You know, literally, sometimes. We follow them. Listen, hang on to every word that they say. In many cases, yeah. But at the same time, we sort of disdain celebrity, don't we? A little jealous of their fame and their riches. Yeah. We mock and make fun of and adulate. The public is so very fickle. I have a quote here. Just a second. It goes like this. Bear with me. Sure. Fame, we may understand, is no sure test of merit, but only a probability of such. It is an accident, not a property of a person. Carlysle. Yes. So, fame weaves its spell, weaves it over me too. I get hypnotized. I'm a yokel on certain levels. I'm impressed with what? Just another person, just like anybody else. You know, we follow them around as if they belong to us. And who do they belong to? Themselves, just like everybody else. But on a certain level, we seem to think that, well, no, don't they a little bit belong to us? If they're a public figure by the very nature and definition of what they do, they're going to be under a lot more scrutiny than an average individual who doesn't go out much. But I am sometimes overly impressed. I'm prone to get excited. I'm actually prone to panic. And being overexcitable and prone to panic is not necessarily the best ingredients for surviving on the mean streets of any town, let alone this one, New York City, where I got a job. Just 2 weeks inside of living in Manhattan, I got a job. The odds against that are amazing. And I'll tell you about that job next time. I look forward to sharing it with you.